So I just left the house. Today is another adventure. I'm headed to Moriarty, which is about an hour drive from my house. It's east of Albuquerque. The airport elevation is like 6,200 feet. The purpose of my trip is also to get out and check out this motor glider that I've purchased from the Albuquerque Soaring Museum. My plan was to put a Rotax 914 on it that would develop 115 horsepower and be turboed, because here at the altitudes at which we take off, which is 6,200 feet out of Moriarty, and in the hot summer, the current motor on this motor glider, which is 80 horsepower, is kind of insufficient. Or I know it can be done, but I don't like the margin of safety. I don't think there's enough margin of safety on it. So here we're coming up on the turnoff for Moriarty Airport. Very fancy sign for Moriarty. Then we have all the hangars. I love hangars. I get to discover new stuff. So this hangar belongs to the Soaring Museum. And here we have some sort of a trike with some cloth wings, decorated German style. Luftwaffe, most likely. It was a German pilot. Who knows? Looks fun. Maybe this is what it's about. People donate gliders to the museum. You can see a bunch of them over here, presumably being donated. Not sure what their state of return to service, if there's any hope, or if they're just basically being prepared as displays. Not quite sure. Here's an old glider over here. I wouldn't call it simple, but it's not too complex. A little bit of plywood for the seat, springs and pulleys and all that good stuff. Looks pretty old. Antique glider, for sure. Well, the reason we're here is for this Ximango Motorglider that I just bought from the museum. As I was explaining previously, I wanted to put a 914 engine on it. This is an AMT 200. There are 4 models of the Ximango built by Aeromot, as you can see, made in Brazil. They're no longer in business, but they made an AMT 100. That one had a Limbot engine in it. The AMT 200, which is the one I purchased, is got a Rotax 80 horsepower. They make an AMT 200S, which has a 100 horsepower Rotax, which is one I previously owned. And they made a few, hard to tell how many, AMT 300s, which have the Rotax 914 in it. And the great thing about all 3 of those engines, the Rotaxes, I mean, is they use the same engine mount. So it should be possible to convert this to a 914, but you need a different propeller. And what else would we need? We might need to make modifications to the cowling to make space for the turbo. Not sure how much clearance is in there. It's hard to tell. So these are things that I need to look at in considering keeping this Super Ximango. If I was at sea level, I'd keep it. The 80 horsepower would be fine. Could have a lot of fun in Florida, places like that. But here at the higher elevation, I'm not so sure. I think you really need at least 100 horsepower. But I would prefer a 914, get some better airspeed, some better climb. That would be awesome. But then I got an update from the DAR regarding this whole project, and he basically told me that no, we can't do it as it was certified. We'd have to switch it to an experimental exhibition category aircraft, meaning that you would no longer be allowed to rent it or use it commercially, which is fine. That's okay, I can live with that. But the experimental exhibition status would probably devalue it, because you have the additional restriction of being told by the FAA that you can't fly outside a certain radius of your home base airport with an experimental exhibition, and that if you do, or if you do want to, you have to declare it in advance once a year and let them know all the destinations you're going to fly to outside your allowed area, your home base. And so that's another level of, it's not that complex, but it's extra hassle. It's another limitation. And the whole idea of putting a 914 on it would be to do more sort of travel expedition type flights, because since it's a motor glider, to have adventures that are outside the home base area. And then we factored in the cost, the current prices for maybe a used 914 and all the rest of it, and it was just didn't feel like it was worth the while. It's fun, and if I had unlimited amounts of money, I would do it just for the heck of it. But that's not my situation, and so I've opted to not do that, and to offer this plane for sale to a better suited home. And the unique thing about the Ximango is it has these foldable wings. And these wings enable it to be hangared in a regular hangar without having to disassemble. So you can see the mechanism for folding the wings. It basically will, you fold downwards. So you've got to lift the wing up vertical and then lower it slowly. Once it's in position, you have this locking mechanism. And this lever with the red handle here indicates if it's closed or open. It's pretty solid construction. I've never heard of them fail. In terms of comfort, well, I'll show you guys. But basically, I've removed the cushions. So here, I could easily sit in here with a softy parachute that I would be sitting on, and I'd have lots of clearance because the bubble canopy would give me enough clearance for my head. The cushions are pretty thick, the ones that were in here, so you can make the cushions less thick if you wanted to use the cushions. So I'm going to do my usual exercise of getting in the airplane so you can see how well I fit. So here we go. Plenty of room to walk up on the wing. Nice handle to grip onto, get inside, step on the seat. And then just drop in. That was pretty easy. We'll put the can on the floor and see how much clearance I have. So as you can see, the landing gear is retractable. It's quite a unique system. It's a spring-loaded gear, which means you manually activate it. There's no electric motors or hydraulic system to lower the gear. It's a 95 model, so it's almost 30 years old. And I think they stopped making them in the late 2000s. The panel on this one is pretty basic. It could do with some upgrading. I think there's a transponder and a radio, but we'd have to double check to make sure they work. The canopy's in good shape. Just everything's a little dirty right now. I want to get it outside and rinse it, but probably not today. Some nice vinyls. Yeah, these are vinyls. It's cute. A little bit dirty, but nothing else to really worry about. Here the strut is needs servicing, which happens a lot with airplanes. So I bought the rings, the O-rings for this strut, and so we'll just have to get it up on jacks, which are here with the conical adapter. And this adapter goes on that red spot, makes it really obvious. So we'll get that done. The engine starts and runs fine, but there's a grounding issue. So when I turn off the magnetos, the engine doesn't turn off. I have to starve it of gas. And that's not how it should be. I should be able to switch off those magnetos. It's got a Hoffman propeller. The one with the 914 would have to have a different propeller, an MT. This propeller doesn't have many hours on it. It's pretty good. The engine is mid-time. Currently the airplane is out of annual. And here I've removed the seats, which I'm washing, and I'm here today to do a little bit of cleaning. The gel coat on the glider is not that great. It has cracks here and there. Nothing that prevents it from flying, but as you can see here, I don't know if you can see well enough, there's some impacts from hail. Not in the best of shape, but you know what? You can have this for a really good price. This might be one of the cheapest motor gliders you can get your hands on. This particular model. And so there's these little dimples which were hail, probably. Probably from being left outside, or you think he flew through?
I think he was out on a safari, and he didn't have access to the hangar. And if you notice, it's on the top, underneath, it's the outer panels. And so he had it folded.
I would say if it was a glider that with a higher performance, I would say that's a problem.
That will affect, yes.
But this one is like...
Yeah,
it's cosmetic. Yeah, not very tight. Could do with being tightened. A rash here. Could do with a new little...
Yeah, the top of the
cover
is sun-baked. But the prop looks really good still.
Yeah, it's relatively new. This is cosmetic. This is cosmetic. Well, that's all for this time. I'll keep you posted. Next time I'll be out here, hopefully with Jason, and we'll be doing an annual on it, making sure everything works right, and get it signed off so we can return to service, and then hopefully fly it here in Albuquerque as soon as the weather cools down a little bit more, and get it back in the air. All right. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.